Something's not going right.
Yeah.
Want a Gatorade, Bubba?
Yeah.
You want to sit next to me or sit in my lap?
Yeah.
Okay.
In our coaching and press conference, we'll start with Coach Healy. We will have Chris Reynolds, Nick Bowles, and Tyler Murray join us as well. First win over a Power 5 team for the 49er program. Certainly the first win over an ACC team as well. You got stats in front of you. We'll take some opening comments. Dave, are you good with the Zoom back there? Okay. Seth has that. Coach, a couple opening comments, then we'll take questions.
You know, as you look back over the last 20 months, as a head coach, when you go 2-4 and you have 9 games canceled, you feel like you've failed your guys from a student athlete experience perspective. And I took it hard, you know, like, what could I have done better? You know, I mean, those guys fighting as hard as they did week in and week out, and having, you know, so many of those games canceled on Friday before a game. And, you know, coaches and players and everybody. I mean, it's just it wasn't a great experience. And one of the awesome parts about being the head coach at Charlotte is you feel really good about talking about you can have a once in a lifetime type of student athlete experience. And when we get this thing to where we want to get it, that nobody in the country gives you a better student athlete experience than we do. We're under construction. We're not where we want to be, but I take that stuff personally when I know how disappointed and let down they are, and they don't have a great experience. And so for them to fight as hard over the last, not just 60 minutes, but really 20 months has been amazing. It shows the caliber of human beings we have in that room. I am really, really lucky to work with the staff that I work with that constantly tells me when I'm messing up and holds me accountable. I'm proud of the leadership group and the leaders of this football team that went through a lot in this camp.
Right.
And there were times where it was, you know, man, are we doing the right thing? Questioning a little bit. And then it always just came back to like a belief and a trusting what we're doing each and every day is going to at some point in time lead to success. I don't know when, but it's going, we're doing it the right way and we believe in how we're doing it. And I can't tell you how happy my heart is just to see those guys smile again, because it's been 20 months since I've been able to see that. And really proud of them. They competed. I can't say enough unbelievable things about David Cutcliffe and his team. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. He does it the right way. Just his class of coming on the field. I know it was crazy, but his class of just coming over and hugging me, and Ben Albert, you know, coached me in college, their DC. And I know that was a difficult, hard loss for anybody to take. And those guys just are such world-class men. It means a lot. And I get the emotional side of me from my dad. He cries about everything, and I think I'm getting to be just as bad, but I'm so proud of these young men and who they are as people. But to get this result means a lot. We can build from here.
I see you brought your son in here. Obviously, you told us
Ram-
how he replayed that Duke game from last year for you. Do you attribute some of that motivation to him? And what was that moment like? I saw that he tackled you after your post-game interview.
Well, I came home on Wednesday night and, hey, Daddy, why don't you come sit on the couch with me? And he goes straight to the DVR and plays the Duke game again. So it was all the way up to the game time. And I told him on the way up the stairs, I said, buddy, I told you I was going to make sure you got rid of that DVR. And so hopefully now we'll be able to do that. But no, I mean, it's just a great moment for our university. Obviously it's just 1-0. And the real story will be written about how we respond to this. And if we can keep building and keep believing in what we're doing day in and day out, then this team's got a chance to do something pretty special.
Coach, you spoke to the number of new faces that you brought in during the course of the offseason, but one who particularly stood out tonight was Grant. Tell us a bit about his journey here and what you saw out of him in his first performance.
Great story about Grant. This summer the NCAA allowed you to be able to basically try out guys. And so Grant was a guy who was transferring from Miles College, and we were bringing a couple Power 5 transfer wide receivers in and deciding between, one of maybe 4 or 5 that were good players and had some productivity in some of the Power 5 conferences. And James Foster, calls Coach Carney and's like, listen, I don't know who you're talking about taking. I know we need a wideout. There's this dude from Miles College that's pretty good. And, and then in walks Mr. Grant DeBose, and it wasn't even close to, all the rest of them. I think that Grant's got an amazing spirit about him. He's genuine. He's fit in extremely well. His work ethic, he and Vic together in the wideout room have totally changed that room. He works extremely hard. He does everything we ask him to do. He was cramping at halftime, and the dude just competes. And look, you're talking about, Grant and Tyler and Vic and Chris. And I mean, you can build something pretty special behind those. When your best players are your best workers and your best leaders, Nick Saban says it all the time, you got a chance. And that showed up tonight.
Will, over here, Scott Fowler from the Charlotte Observer. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I just wondered if you could describe the last 30 seconds or so of the game, and then the storming afterwards and sort of the emotional swings there.
I think it's the first time I've ever tried to hold somebody back. Typically somebody's trying to hold me back from running on the field. The last 2 seconds, it was me trying to hold other people back. And, obviously your biggest thing at that point in time is working on keeping both teams safe. And then not getting a penalty, and so we score. Unbelievable run by Shad. Another transfer, that just showed up, I thought tonight, ran hard. His statistics may not be great, but he ran really hard. You get the ball 33 seconds. And I looked at Tyler Murray when he was in the huddle, and he's like, we got it. And so I felt pretty good about it after that. I thought we could be able to create some pressure. They got the one, easy pass up to about the 50-yard line. And then we got a little bit of an opportunity to kind of regroup. And from there, I felt like I was in really good shape, but you just try to keep your emotions intact, because, when the thing hits zero, it's like, okay, I can finally take a deep breath, but the give and take, the ebbs and flows, the physicality of that football game was a lot. And we'll have to do a great job of recovering this week. But, man, every time you wanted to count us out, we found a way to come back and respond. And that's all these guys.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Hunter.
How you doing, my man?
Great, bud. How about you?
Doing good. Talk us through last season. You had some socially distanced, club blitz, and now you're back. Huge game. Just talk us through the scene in the locker room just now.
You just look around and see a bunch of grown young men smiling and having a blast and enjoying their experience. And that's all I want. You see a bunch of coaches that are feeling the same way, and I steal it all the time, but I mean it. I actually talked to Mike Hill about this the other day, and I told our team before the game, I said, it's the Tony Bennett quote that he got from Dick Bennett, and Ron Sanchez always gets mad at me because I use it all the time, but it's because I understand what truly matters. It enables me to enjoy what seems to matter. And what seems to matter is winning a football game, but it's sure a lot of fun whenever everybody around you is enjoying it as much as they did. And just means a lot. That's the cool part. Stop hobbling. And so really cool. Obviously it's a lot of fun for me to be able to show off the hard work I put in the off season. A lot of push-ups, right. So much fun.
Grant, coach was telling us a bit about your journey here and how James is really saying that you were a player who needed to be part of this wide out group. Tell us a bit about your journey from Miles College, what your 2020 looked like, and obviously a huge impact for the 49ers tonight.
So I entered the transfer portal in 2020. And last year around this time, I was working. I had a job. I was waiting on the opportunity. And it was around Christmas time of last year. And we were on break. And James came down we're both from the same city. And he came down to the city. And we got some work in. We got some good work in. And from then, he was very consistent in pushing for me to get up here, and that's how it is. And I just want to thank God, thank Coach Healy, and thank James for the opportunity to be here and do what I do.
Grant, you just touched on one from working a job at Miles College. I think you had 10 catches, 104 yards and a touchdown. Tonight, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. How does it feel?
Honestly, it doesn't even feel real. Just I've really been taking in this whole week. Just imagining myself like playing Duke and being out here in this atmosphere. So it's honestly surreal. I'm still trying to take it in right now. It's not really used to all of these and the lights and the cameras in my face. But, it feels good. So I'm just happy to be here right now.
You know, what was cool is, and he doesn't even know I did this, but I was about 3:00 today. I was sitting in the hotel room over here at the Marriott, and actually it was yesterday. We were checking in, and I was sitting up in the hotel room, and I was watching Grant walk into the hotel, and he's got his phone out, and he's kind of recording everything and walking into that new beautiful hotel. And you know, you're proud of how you're doing things, how they're eating, how they're traveling, how they're being taken care of. And you see Grant, a guy that just doesn't take it for granted and is so grateful for the opportunity that you just look at it and like, the dude fights his rear end off every day because he's so excited about being here. And we, as people who have been here and watched it grow, also can't take for granted the steps that this program's made to be able to get here too, but also be hungry to go take it to the next level.
Chris, we talked some a couple weeks ago about pressure. This game had 6 lead changes, went back and forth the whole way. How did it feel lining up? I mean, you guys had multiple fourth quarter touchdowns. How did it feel in that huddle? And what did you say to your team?
When times are tough and it's crunch time, you fall down to your training. And the guys in that huddle, they played a lot of football and they've been through a lot of stuff. And when you look into their eyes, you see a sharp glare and it's like, we're ready. And you just felt that energy in the huddle. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they throw at us. It's about how we execute what we do. Throughout the game, we sometimes couldn't get things going. Defense was making stops, and it was our turn to get it done. We had to do it. You have playmakers in the huddle like Victor Tucker. Grant made great plays. Dollar, Meach, 5th-year guy. Guys have been there before, and they were ready.
Coach, when your offense takes the field for the last time and you need a touchdown, what was your message to Chris and the offense as you take the field that last time?
We had a minute and 44 seconds and 2 timeouts. We put a minute and 54 seconds and 1 timeout on the clock every 2-minute drill because we got beat at FAU last year. A minute, 54 seconds, ball's on the -17-yard line, 1 timeout. We've done it 10 times, 15 times. And so we just had an extra timeout in our back pocket and about 10 extra yards that we were pushed forward. So, I mean, Chris was like, don't worry about it, coach. And, I thought I called some amazing plays down there, down the stretch, really found ways to isolate these guys, called some great blitzes, I got nothing to do with it. These guys just went out and made plays and our coaches did an incredible job of putting them in positions to have success.
Back and forth. I'll pass it to him after. Tyler, after last season going up to Duke and as Coach Apley put it, having so many points scored on you last season, did you guys feel holding them and ultimately coming out with the victory tonight? And what will you prepare defensively in terms of just stopping the run game heading into next week?
Before the game started, I told mostly all the coaches that this is a different type of ball game this year. Like that last game last year really hurt us. So it like made us work more off on the off season, preparing for this game up to it. So when we got here, it didn't feel like an upset really. It felt like we should beat this team. So just preparing on the off season, just doing what we need to do, the up to this moment really feel good that we actually came on top. But preparing for the rest of the season, just we know we messed up on. We got to do a lot more execution. I see on the defensive side. So I mean, just fixing that, watch the film, and get back to it next week, and we really should be good.
Tyler, you told me the first day of practice that all you wanted to see as a leader was seeing guys work.
Yeah.
In the second half of this game, you lost Javonte Howard,
Right.
Trey Kramer went out,
Right.
Tank went out. You saw a lot of depth in that defense. As a leader, what have you taken from this game?
Just can't let it get to me. I mean, if it get to me and the players see me down, then it's just gonna get to the whole team. So me just staying positive. I told them we go through a lot of adversity, as you can see, and then we just fought through it. So I mean, just having a lot of guys step up that we needed. And I pray that them guys get back because we need them guys next week. I mean, just have a lot of new faces step up for us really help.
Just talk about positivity and body language.
Yeah.
Joey Ellsworth, Niner Times. Coach, what was your thoughts on the Duke running back Durant's performance, and how is it like impact how you're going to go against a running back like that in the future?
Baller, stud, unbelievable player. Can't say enough great things about him. It averaged 8.8 yards a carry. It's pretty unbelievable. 29 carries, 259 yards. Had 4 yards of lost yardage. He's a stud. He's an unbelievable player who will give every game you turned on last year. He broke one on somebody. Literally every game, North Carolina, Florida State, all of them punctured one on somebody. He's a great player. And I thought we'd have to stop him more than 259 yards. If you told me before the game, he has 29 carries for 259 yards, I'm saying probably need a couple more timeouts in our back pocket. But, it was some bend, but don't break. And we talk about all the time, green grass. We have a green grass rule on defense. Look, if they get first and goal on the 3-yard line and they still have to snap the ball, we have a chance to get the ball back or get a stop. And we punched the ball out, recover it in the end zone. It was probably the difference in the game.
I just wonder if the players each could go through that last minute or so, the aftermath and the locker room, or just whichever of those were your favorite parts and sort of the joy you saw with your teammates and fans.
With a year of separation and people not coming out there and enjoy the game they love, to see the excitement in that stands, it was just utterly ridiculous. I mean, as a quarterback, you're trying to zone in and just focus on what you need to do. When you see those guys, it just gets your energy going. To see the smiles on their face as they were rushing the field, they were itching to be back out there. And it's a special feeling when you have a fan base behind you like that. We can't do it without them. It brings energy to us, but that was the coolest part.
Can I just, and I don't mean to bust in, the student section, holy cow. I mean, that was big time. I mean, that was an incredible atmosphere that they created, and they were here the whole game and they were loud the entire game. I mean, that was big time.
Real deal.
And I know our guys felt that too, but I can't thank our students enough. That was incredible.
Well, I say I appreciate the students' body section. I mean, it was really something that I really didn't get the experience for the last 3 years I was here. I had to sit out the first year, then last year COVID. So I mean, I just really appreciate them. I've really experienced it now. I mean, it's crazy how they gave us energy. Like we really played off them. So I mean, I just appreciate them being out there and just continue to help us get better.
My last snap of college football was in November of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And just to go out there and see all the fans and and hear them cheering loud and screaming and rooting for you. It felt good. And before we got the ball, before the last drive that the offense had, it was good on the sideline. You know, it was a situation that we had been in before. And on the sideline, everybody on the offense, you know, let's go out there and do it again. And it's not nothing that's new to us. We work it at practice. And like Coach Healy always preaches, you know, we just trust the process and just go out there and get the job finished. So that was that.
Do we have any other questions for our group? Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank y'all.